Hello viewers, me and team here. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last part we got down to the Tomb of Giants. In this part we are going to be finishing the Tomb of Giants. And this is a short update today. I originally struggled more in the Tomb of Giants. But after doing many playthroughs, it's become less of a challenging area for me. And I have a good weapon to handle it.
What are you doing in the catacomb? No?
Answer no.
Really? There's a fine stash of treasure. I found it first. In any case, have a look.
Patches hates clerics and will aggro you if you tell him that you are a cleric. And he sells some useful stuff. And there's really no reason to kill him usually, unless you just want the Crescent Axe super early. So, yeah, no reason.
This is what I do, my friend. The trinkets I'll be stripping off your corpse, that's the real treasure.
Trusty Patches. This is a guaranteed Skull Lantern. In the vanilla release, what I just picked up there, that was the only guaranteed way to get a Skull Lantern. So you'd actually have to run through the Tomb of the Giants in the dark to some degree.
Oh no,
Hi, Rhea.
Are you? Thank good, please be careful. There are two fierce they were once brave. Who would let such strong spirits be hollowed so? Heavens.
Poor Rhea. But, yep, we have to deal with her bodyguards gone hollowed. And although she says they're fierce, not in regular New Game they're not. More like just owned. Yep, and get backstabbed. Trying to heal. You can't even survive a backstab. I even do my patented multiplayer kick after killing you stuff. Because I don't... Everyone does the well, what is it, and other gestures. Which I use sometimes.
These belonged.
I don't know. I reserve well, what is it, for specific circumstances. Normally, I will use that against gankers. If I gank spank like 2 or more people, then I have much higher tendency to use that. But yeah, I find the kick to be a quote unquote classy taunt as well, so I like using that. These bone wheel towers can actually be really dangerous. If you have low poise, they can stun lock and kill you in a hurry if you get too close. Spells work great against them. Really any magic or pyromancy is fine. I guess if you have like tons of lightning spears, you could even use that. Long range, like arrows of any kind or bolts, that's fine. Weapons such as what I'm using that have range, or the halberd or spears, also an excellent way of taking care of them. Hi, Patches.
Well, let's just calm. I did you wrong, but I didn't mean these temptations. You know what I mean? Don't you and me, we're jolly.
I feel you, Patches, but no.
You're still alive? Wait, I know. Here, take this. It proves something, doesn't it?
So yeah, basically if you want to get the max amount of stuff from Patches, just say no a lot. That's how he works. And yes, in a regular New Game playthrough, with an Elemental's Way +5, or +10 in the case of Fire, I think, certainly Chaos +5 with Humanity will do it, you can one-shot the skeleton dogs down here without casting anything. Extremely useful, because these things can rack up a lot of damage on you in a hurry. But if you just pancake them to death and kill them instantly, well, not as bad. Black Knights are a lot more poise resistant, but I break his guard and then miss. Yeah, a lot of nonsense here. Oh, get backstabbed! Yes, unlocked backstabbing was fun. Drops a white chunk for Divine and Occult upgrade paths. Divine is usually superior to Occult slightly, but some things take bonus damage from Occult, so that's something to be mindful of. I forget exactly what takes bonus damage from Occult weapons. But unless you're scaling in Faith and taking a lot of stats in it, really no point in using either, aside to permanently kill skeletons that would otherwise not be permanently killed. In which case you just run Divine and don't really care about the damage output. Anyway, that's meant to be a trap, and this is where the Silver Serpent Ring is. If you watched where I dropped off there, the corpse near that skeleton, just walk off where the corpse is near the skeleton. You're good, you'll drop down on this. Don't like roll or jump off, just run off or jog off or whatever. I think running is a bad idea. Just jog off of it and you're good. Alright, I guess I threw on the wolf ring there. Oh, no, I had the wolf ring on by default. But now I'm going to put on the serpent ring. Roll out of that kick. Whiff myself. And then the skeleton drops down there, so I decided to just leave him. If he wants to run off like that. But I'll be wearing this serpent ring for much of the rest of the playthrough, just because it's useful to have it. And it looks like the skeleton found me again. But no big deal. I can one-shot these guys. The Murakumo is a rare drop from these giant skeletons. And it's one of the better weapons in the game for PvP, and it's pretty solid in PvE as well. It's it has excellent dead angling potential, perhaps the best among the regular greatswords. And on top of that, it has stun lock capability. It's a really effective stun lock weapon, a very obnoxious one because its sling speed is even higher than the Zwei. So that if you see someone busting one of those out, just keep in mind that they have the same guard break as hammers and other great swords, can dead angle you and can stun lock you. Don't play games with tanking hits from the Murakumo. Even elemental Murakumos are very dangerous. So if somebody has a strength build and they just want to run like a backup weapon, like a Mura, which is still pretty fast, honestly, as a curved greatsword, it doesn't hurt as much as a buffed one, but it's still very dangerous. And if you get caught in a stun lock from a two-handed Mura, you can wind up with well over 1,000 damage stripped off your health if you get hit by the full combo that it has. Or, you know, it's pretty close to your full health bar, so don't mess around too much with that. And be very respectful of what it can do to you. Actually, a lot of the dex weapons aren't that bad as elementals, as backups, because they provide the speed that the strength weapons can't match. And in some matchups, it's handy to have. So whether it's an elemental spear of some variety, or an elemental curved greatsword like the Mura, or even an elemental rapier or estoc can be very handy on a strength build, and it's worth considering them. All right, I am in human form, so I'm going to be invaded by Paladin Leroy here. It is possible just to run past all the noise. Whiff. That's lame. It's not really a whiff. It's more like I don't have a weapon that can kill that thing effectively where I am. So I miss out on some Twinkling Titanite. Not that it's a problem, so you can just buy it. But yep, get stun locked. Even if he had like almost twice the health, even if he actually had twice his health that he has, I would have just been able to kill him without taking damage due to stun lock. Very few of the NPCs in this game have enough poise to survive any kind of stun lock whatsoever. So you can really abuse the regular NPC invasions. Hopefully in Dark Souls 2, which has been announced and I am very excited for it, they make the NPC invasions a little bit more challenging / interesting than they did in Dark Souls 1. Because, man, human invasions can be a real problem, and I don't know, if you don't play on online mode, you don't really get that same kind of experience. I think it's amusing to have NPC invasions and human invasions. And yes, people consider it griefing that they get invaded by strong players, but you know what? If you don't want that, you don't have to play in online mode. The game will let you play in offline mode. And it's not that hard then. You cannot be invaded if you are not in online mode. So I don't really have much patience for people who feel like invasions are griefing. You don't want to be griefed by invasions? Don't let yourself be invaded. It's as simple as that. And yes, that does quote-unquote prevent co-op. But the whole point of co-op is that it reduces some challenge by allowing someone who's normally overpowered to help you. But Dark Wraiths can then make the game harder themselves by invading you. That's part of the design of the game. So if you're not willing to take the quote-unquote risk of being invaded by someone who's too strong for you, even though you can have phantoms that can kill them very easily, or just run past them to the boss fog and challenge the area boss anyway, then don't play in online mode. By the way, these skeleton babies are very excellent for farming humanity. One of 3 areas that are really good in the game for farming humanity. Another one being the rats in the depths. If you have max item discovery, they're pretty good for farming humanity, and they're an earlier availability. There's one other one that I'll point out when I get there, but it's in the Duke's archives. Alright, we are up to Gravelord Nito, and I put the Divine Club in my second slot there so that I can beat on the skeletons, that Nito does not auto-revive them. Not sure. Oh, yes, I've also switched back on the Silver Knight helm. It's not dark here, so there's really no reason to wear a Sunlight Maggot over a normal helmet. Okay, when you hear a screaming type attack, then you know that Nito's about to do a attack that comes out from the floor right underneath your character. So once you hear that, just roll a couple times and you'll probably not get hit by it. You can get the timing perfect with practice, but if you're new to this area, as soon as you hear the scream, wait like not even a half a second, wait like a quarter to a half a second, and then just roll a couple times and it'll almost always miss you. I threw on Power Within here. Power Within is a very strong option for boss fights and player versus environment, especially because it's so easy to acquire it and run it, compared to other buffs like, say, Sunlight Blade or Dark Moon Blade, where you really need like 30 faith for it to be practical, or a Crystal Magic Weapon where you need 25 intelligence. No, to get Power Within, all you need is 10 attunement. 1 attunement slot. You don't even have to upgrade your Pyromancy Glove. The level that your Pyromancy Glove is has no impact on the buff you get from Power Within. Or the HP drain. That was changed in an early patch. It used to be that you drained hit points more quickly with a higher upgraded flame, so people would carry 2 flames. One for Power Within buff and one for any other Pyromancy. But that's not necessary anymore. It's pretty hard to get out of the way of this magic attack, and unless you're on a high new game, you can just tank it by blocking it. It's an easier way than running away. You can run away though, it gives you enough time. And on high new game pluses, that might be the easier approach. Although with the right kind of shield, you can always block it too. Anyway, Nito's not very hard if you have a divine weapon for the skeletons. His attacks are slow, and if you stay in this part of the map, you don't get attacked by the giant skeletons in the area. So, Nito is actually one of the easier of the 4 Lord Souls fights for most builds. He's also pretty weak to Pyromancy, so yeah, I got the Silver Serpent Ring buff for souls on that fight. Now I have a ton of souls, and it gets even more silly in New Game Plus if you kill stuff while wearing that. You get all the souls you need very quickly. And alright, I am going to actually go and finish upgrading my Ascended Pyromancy Flame, because with the souls I'm carrying, I have enough for that, but I'm not going to show that on screen. I'll meet you guys back in the next part after I do it. The Me and Team, signing off.